Hello, everybody. I'm here to offer you a wonderful opportunity that people have been asking me about wherever I go. People are asking me, how can we see the same move of God in our country as is happening in the Ukraine? Will you come and do a conference? Will you come and preach in our church? And the invitations are just too many. So that's why I've decided to start a Bible school in every country. So right now we have started one in America, we've started one in France, we've started one in Holland, we've started one in Germany. Now it's time for England. So we're starting a History Maker Bible School in the city of London from September 25th. So I'm inviting everybody that wants to be a part of this great move of God that God is pouring all over Europe, that you should come and be a part of this Bible school. It's just a weekend Bible school, 1 weekend a month. So you don't need to leave your job, you don't need to leave your family, you don't need to leave your church, just 1 Saturday in a month. You can do that. Please get in touch with us by contacting the telephone and the email on the screen after this program. God bless you and welcome to History Makers Bible School.
300 Christians needed to change the spiritual temperature of this nation forever. Are you one of them? The Bible says creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. For this end time, you don't have to be a pastor or someone in a leadership position in a church to be part of this great move of God. All you need is a genuine hunger for the kingdom of God to be established on earth. Pastor Sunday Adelaja, the pastor of the largest church in Europe, the Embassy of God, is initiating a move of God in this nation called the History Makers Bible School. The History Makers Bible School takes place only on 1 Saturday every month to equip you for the next level. It will also be a good opportunity to network with like-minded Christians. You will receive tried and tested keys to church growth and pastoring without tears at the Emmanuel Center, 9 to 23 Marsham Street, Victoria, London, Southwest 1P 3DW. Registration is £40 per session. To register, call 0798 114 6157 or email admin@hmbsuk.org or visit the website at www.hmbsuk.org. Whatever you do, don't miss this move of God. Call the number on the screen now to register. Remember, you were called for a time like this. Hello and welcome to the program. The program you're about to see will challenge your Christianity. And if you thirst for the things of the kingdom, it will spur you onto higher heights in God. And it is about a ministry which is actually the largest in Europe, known as God's Embassy. And the senior pastor of the church is here with me to talk about what this organization is all about. Why is there so much happening within the organization? What kind of impact it's having? And also, how can you gain or learn from what they have done for you to take your own territory to the glory of God? You know what? Sit back and watch. And remember, you can always get copies of this material because we're going to be talking in depth about Embassy of God here in Kiev, in the Ukraine. God bless you as you continue to watch. Welcome to the program, Pastor Sunday.
Thank you so much, Pastor Yemi, and it's a privilege to have you in the Ukraine. You came all the way to the Ukraine to have this session with me, and I appreciate it deeply. Thank you so much.
So really, to get us going, I just wanted to check with you, to talk about your life, where you started from. I've been fellowshipping with you. I've heard a lot of things that are mind-boggling. How, when you were younger, you were being looked after by family members who were very rich, and then all of a sudden, something went wrong, and then you ended up actually going on the farm to collect firewood, to sell in town, and also to prepare what we call the liquid pap, which is known as ogi in Yoruba, and you prepare the item to go sell to people for breakfast. So tell us, we want to know what your background is like so that people can have an idea, where you're coming from, so that when you're preaching the way you do today and you're talking the way you talk and you face the kind of persecution you're facing, they'll get to understand exactly what's going on in your mind.
Well, I grew up in a very small village of 40 houses. Maybe it's better or it's safer to call that not a village, maybe even a hamlet, because it's so small and everybody in that village, mainly older people and then children. So I'm a village boy. I come from a very remote village, even though our village is only 2 hours from Lagos, but I never got to see Lagos until I was about to leave the country when I got my scholarship. So just living 2 hours from Lagos, then about 1 hour, 45 minutes to Ibadan, yet I couldn't get out of my village. I didn't have an opportunity to get out of my village to even see the city in whatsoever form. So I was growing up in the village. Our family was averagely well-to-do initially when I was smaller, because the senior members of the family were, well-read. One of the youngest doctorate degree holder in the country, in Nigeria, was my senior brother, I would say, my cousin. And then the second cousin was working in the Ministry of Finance and Statistics. And then the other one, who was a lady, she was the wealthiest of all. She was well-to-do, a business tycoon lady in Ibadan. So, dealing in textile and selling, and she was really well-to-do. But all that stopped. All that came to an end when I was 6 years old. Just in a period of 6 months, we lost all these prominent family members.
Wow.
In 6 months. So when people talk about deliverance and demonic forces, I know what it is all about. Because witchcraft, this is big-time witchcraft. I mean, the one who was the professor in the University of Ife, the one who was the first doctorate, one of the youngest doctorate, that doctor, he was a lecturer at the University of Ife. He was only 34 when he died. Then the younger brother was maybe 29. Then the lady was in between them, and maybe that was maybe 30-something. So talking about what evil spirit could do, and the forces of Satan, we really know it. I know what it means, because these people were young, and they were none of them was like sick so much. In 6 months, the first one to die in November was the lady. She had an accident. Then the next month, the following month, the youngest, the brother who was in the Ministry of Finance, had an accident. And then the senior, the one who was the senior's brother, the doctor, he just got sick out of sorrow. He just got depressed, and out of that depression. So from between November and May, the whole light of the family went off. I mean, this was a family the next person to that was educated was 16 years old in secondary school. I was in primary school. All other people were in secondary school. We all had to leave school because nobody to pay for our school fees anymore. So that was when my grandmother that I was staying with, who had not worked for several years because she had stopped working, because these children came back and said, no, you cannot have this kind of children and begin to and still continue to work. So they had told her to retire from work, so they were taking care of her. And at the age of 60, she needed to go back to the farm, and not just farming, to get firewood. And I was the only one left in the village with her. So, it got to a time that I didn't have shoes anymore, no slippers even, no canvas, nothing.
But prior to this happening, you said these guys were wealthy?
Yeah, they were wealthy.
And then what sort of lifestyle were you accustomed?
Oh, they were bringing, they had the first one, who was the doctor, the first set graduate of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and he was the top student of that first year graduate. he finished first class with distinction. So he got a scholarship from the federal government to go study in France. So he finished the University of Sorbonne. Then from there he met an English lady. Maybe she's watching us now, Aunt Susan. She's based in London now. And married an English lady, then came back to Nigeria. They had 2 daughters. And so, he was well-to-do. He was an advisor to the president of Nigeria at that time, to the head of state, Gowon, and on foreign affairs. He was an expert on that. He was in charge of the institute. He was, freelancing with the Institute of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria and acting as the editor-in-chief of the Nigeria Today, a magazine that they used to publish for foreign embassies of Nigeria all over the world. And so we were well taken care of. The junior brother was taking me in cars to school and all that, teaching me when I was 6, who was in the Ministry of Statistics and Finances. So no problem at all.
So then all of a sudden, this whole thing changed. And you found yourself with your grandmother who was not working. So how did you manage those years?
It was worse than that, because when my grandmother heard about the death of the 3rd one and the senior one, they're very prominent. He was on TV all the time, commenting on international affairs and all that. So when that happened, this news came out in the main newspaper of Nigeria at that time. It was Daily Times. So it was Sunday Times. They put the picture of all our family members. The front page, it was a front page national news in Nigeria.
Wow.
So when our grandmother heard about the demise and the death of the last one, she just collapsed. The next 6 to 1 year, I didn't see her because she was in a coma. And then she had to be hospitalized. So in that period of time, when she collapsed and she had to be hospitalized, and I was in the village, and my brothers, everybody just ran away from the family, because we come from an area in Nigeria that is called Ijebu. So the rumor that time was that this woman must be a witch. It's not possible. Things like this, it's not possible to happen to one family. In fact, that newspaper article that came out from the Daily Times, Sunday Times, it actually says, is this a tragedy or a curse? So everybody believed in Nigeria that was a curse. It was probably a curse, or it was a form of witchcraft. So, but everybody in the family thought, this family is cursed. You better don't touch them. Don't even move close. Don't even go close to them. So all the friends of the family, all the friends of this, my uncles and my aunts, all of them just disappeared. None of them would dare come to the village, and none of them would dare come close to our family house. Even the very people who were always in our family house before that, even the people from the very village, they would not dare come near, because they said this house is cursed. And the way people are afraid of witchcraft and superstitions and curses. So, but most of what made it worse was they believed that this must be the handwork of the grandma, because they said she has taken her children to eat, that she has eaten for
spiritually.
Yeah, spiritually, that she had killed her children.
Wow.
So that made things worse. That was when we really needed to survive. That was when I began to go to the bush to get some fruits and to fetch some firewood. And so a year later, when she came back, it became my full-time job, just to survive, because I needed to go to the bush, not to the forest, to cut the trees, then wait for 2 weeks to dry it in the sun. Then after drying it, cut it into pieces, slate it, package it for commercial, to be sellable in a commercial way. Then I had to trek from my village of Idomela to Ijebu-Ode. Ijebu-Ode was the major city or major town near our village. So I needed to go there on a daily basis to sell my wood, my bunch of wood, because if I don't go to school. But thank God I will always be grateful for people like Awolowo and free education, because this school I'm talking about is not to pay school fees. We are not paying school fees. This is just to be able to eat, to be able to buy pen, for me to be